I've decided to move forward with my breast reduction surgery. This is something that I've thought about for a very long time, and now I finally feel ready. I chose Dr. Barron with the breast, body, beauty plastics, and reconstructive surgery team because she is a woman who understands women's bodies. Chantel Everett, a name that always sparks conversation, transformation, and bold decisions in the 90-Day Fiancé world, is once again stepping into a new chapter of her life. After years of struggling with back pain, insecurity, and the physical exhaustion that came with her heavy chest, she has revealed her decision to undergo a breast reduction procedure. This marks a major turning point for her, not just physically, but emotionally too. This won't be the first time Chantel has chosen surgery to take control of her life. Viewers remember when she had a birthmark removed on 90 Day Diaries. She was scared then, unsure of how it would go, but afterward, she walked out more confident and free. Now with this breast reduction, she is once again choosing health over judgment and comfort over appearances. She explained that as a travel nurse constantly on her feet, her back pain had become unbearable. Each shift felt heavier, and each day reminded her that she needed to take care of her body. She said clearly that this decision is about living without pain and finally being comfortable in her own skin. She invited fans into her journey, walking them through her consultation with Dr. Barron. Cameras showed her stepping into the clinic, discussing the procedure, and changing into a robe while the surgeon made careful measurements. It was raw and personal, a moment of honesty that showed just how ready she is to make this change. While many fans have supported her, not everyone reacted kindly. Tim Malcolm made waves when he openly questioned her choice, looking shocked and confused about why she would want to alter her appearance. Chantel did not flinch. She made it clear that this is her life and her body, and she's no longer interested in pleasing anyone but herself. Her personal life has also become a major topic again. On Hunt for Love, Chantel came out as bisexual, explaining that she had kissed a woman named Ashley before filming and still had feelings for her. After filming ended, she followed her heart and confirmed during the tell-all that she and Ashley were officially together. Their reunion moment shook the cast. Chantel and Ashley held hands proudly while her mother processed the news with visible shock. But in the end, her mother chose love over resistance and said she would stand by her daughter, even promising to attend her wedding. Now, the two women share their life online, smiling in photos and proving that Chantel is finally living without fear of judgment. While she prepares for surgery, another rumor has taken center stage. This time, it is about Tim Malcolm. Fans have been whispering that Tiffany Franco may be pregnant with his child. Others even believe Tim and Tiffany secretly got married in Las Vegas. The rumor started when Tim and Tiffany began appearing together often, not only on social media, but also in public events. Their playful teasing, close body language, and little inside jokes online made fans believe they were more than just friends. Tim even began calling her his wifey, a nickname that quickly caused chaos in the fandom. People began tagging them in comments, asking if they had tied the knot. Jennifer Terrazona, never one to stay quiet, added fuel to the fire by claiming that Tim and Tiffany were spending every night together while filming Hunt for Love. From that moment, fans were convinced that something romantic had formed between them. The pregnancy and wedding rumors spread even faster, making Tim the center of attention once again. Finally, Tim decided he had enough. He posted a video with Tiffany at a sports match. The two of them were laughing and clearly enjoying each other's company. At one moment, Tim reached over and ran his hand through Tiffany's hair. Fans analyzed every second of the clip to find clues, but Tim captioned it with a direct message addressing the rumors. He said clearly that Tiffany is not pregnant, she is not carrying his child, and they did not get married in Las Vegas. He ended the statement by saying that was all he would clarify for now. Even in the middle of denying everything, Tim still called her his gorgeous wife, insisting that it was just a nickname. But fans are not convinced. They see the way they look at each other and how comfortable they are together. Tim also praised Tiffany, saying she is one of the rare people who genuinely cares and brings peace instead of chaos. His words made fans even more curious, wondering if there is a love story slowly building behind the scenes. Some believe Tim and Tiffany are simply taking their time, keeping their bond private after experiencing so many public heartbreaks on the show. Others think they may already be together and are simply waiting for the right moment to reveal it to the world. For now, all that exists is chemistry, laughter, and a nickname that refuses to fade away. As the question remains, did Tim Malcolm's revelation put out the fire, or did it only add more heat to a rumor that refuses to die? Fans are still glued to every interaction he has with Tiffany, watching for subtle signs in their body language and flirty comments. Even with his denial, the way he calls her wifey keeps people guessing. If anything, his statement didn't end anything. It only made viewers more curious, creating a slow-burning tension that feels like a storyline waiting to explode in the next season. While fans are still speculating about Tim and Tiffany, Jasmine Pineda has once again managed to steal the spotlight. She recently posted new pictures wearing a flowing orange and purple dress, gently holding what appears to be a baby bump. The way she posed, smiling slightly while cradling her stomach, sent shockwaves through the fandom. Could Jasmine really be expecting another child with Matt Brownies? Or was this another one of her unpredictable moves designed to stir up attention? At first glance, it looked like a classic pregnancy reveal. But viewers who have followed Jasmine's journey closely know that nothing with her is ever straightforward. Soon, skepticism spread across social media as fans began picking apart the details. If she and Matt are emotionally distant and barely communicating, as Matt previously hinted, why would another baby be part of the picture? Matt's own comment made the situation even more emotional. He confessed online that he still loved Jasmine and had been patiently waiting for her, but he admitted his love felt one-sided, like he was begging for affection that wasn't being returned. His words didn't sound like those of a man expecting a child with his partner. They sounded like someone exhausted, holding on to hope alone. The confusion deepened as fans debated Jasmine's family timeline. She already has 2 sons from her past relationship in Panama. She then had baby Matilda with Matt. That alone made this potential pregnancy her 4th child. But some viewers pointed out that confusion around her sister had previously made people think Jasmine had an older daughter too. No one could keep track anymore, and the internet exploded with theories. Then came a twist. Sharp-eyed viewers on Reddit compared the images Jasmine shared to older unseen clips and noticed something strange. The dress, the background, even her hairstyle matched scenes from the time she was secretly pregnant with Matilda, back when NDAs prevented her from posting personal photos. Now that the new season is airing, many believe she is releasing those old pictures for the first time, but doing so in a way that makes it look current. One fan commented that these were throwbacks from her last pregnancy, and suddenly everything shifted. Fans let out a sigh of relief, not because they wouldn't support another baby, but because they felt Jasmine should focus on healing her existing relationships before bringing another child into the world. With her emotional life in chaos, many viewers simply want her to find peace and stability instead of fueling more drama. Still, nothing has been officially confirmed. And knowing Jasmine, she could easily turn a rumor into reality without warning. Whether it's a real pregnancy or just another tease, she knows exactly how to keep the world talking about her. Meanwhile, another familiar name refuses to fade from controversy. Colt Johnson is once again living under Kourtney's parents' roof, causing outrage across the fan base. After splitting from his second wife, Vanessa, Colt's divorce was dismissed, meaning he is technically still married. That didn't stop him from chasing Kourtney during Hunt for Love. Fans initially saw sparks between them, but soon, everything fell apart. Kourtney claimed Colt had been secretly talking to random women, arranging private meetings and accepting gifts from them. She even noticed other girls sending him flowers, which shattered her trust completely. Their issues were put on full display during the tell-all. Kourtney cried over Colt's emotional distance and admitted that she still cared deeply for him, especially after his leg injury landed him in the hospital. Even then, she stood by him. But beneath her concern were deeper problems they never resolved. Rumors began spreading that Colt had already moved on to a new woman named Diana. Bloggers traced him to Brazil, where he was seen recovering with crutches, taking photos at historical sites, and sharing thankful messages about being welcomed so warmly. Some fans joked that he was only in Brazil to get free medical help and start fresh with a new girlfriend. At the same time, people questioned Courtney's decisions. Many argued that she should have walked away long ago. Reddit threads began filling with angry comments accusing her of sacrificing her peace for a man with no house, no job, and a history of lying. Some said she made a mistake choosing him over other men, especially when he moved into her parents' home without contributing financially. Colt's controlling behavior toward his own mother was also brought up, reminding fans that his red flags had always been there. Yet despite the backlash, others argued that Courtney's family encouraged this chaos by allowing Colt into their home and tolerating his behavior. They say everyone involved allowed red flags to become part of normal life. Now, the whole situation feels like a warning story about what happens when love blinds people to the truth. As all of this unfolds, Cara and Guillermo face their own breaking point. After the birth of their son Nicholas, fans thought they would be one of the rare success stories. But instead of growing closer, their relationship is under heavy threat. Guillermo publicly called out Cara for staying at her ex's house until 3 a.m, accusing her of disrespect and betrayal. He questioned her loyalty, and with their past history of jealousy, this moment hit hard, but Cara isn't backing down. She is now firing back at Guillermo, saying his accusations feel like projection and that maybe he is the one hiding something. The tension between them becomes more obvious when Guillermo notices Cara smiling at her phone and acting defensive when asked who she's texting. He says she throws tantrums whenever he brings up boundaries or respect in the marriage. Things hit a breaking point when Cara casually mentions that she met her ex, DJ, at a Latin night event at his house at 3 a.m. Guillermo is stunned. To him, that crosses a line, especially with their history. Cara brushes it off, saying she hooked up with DJ only one time in the summer of 2011 and insists they've been nothing but good friends ever since. She speaks with confidence, trying to make it clear that she has nothing to hide. But Guillermo can't forget the past. He remembers DJ being mentioned after their wedding, and the thought lingers in his mind. Despite Cara trying to prove she isn't the one destroying their marriage, Guillermo feels uneasy and hurt. While Cara keeps saying the root of their problems is their lack of intimacy and emotional connection, not cheating, her words don't erase Guillermo's doubts. She even admits she doesn't want to believe Guillermo could do something behind her back, but her trust has cracks too. The moment her mother brought up the late-night shower Guillermo took without explanation, Cara felt a chill. Why did that moment feel so suspicious? Why did it stay in her mind long after it happened? Both of them seem to be desperately looking for love, an affirmation inside a marriage that now feels cold. Even therapy hasn't fixed their emotional distance. They sit together, they talk, they co-parent, but the intimacy that once made them feel like a team is gone. Fans notice it too. Every scene shows them existing side by side, but never fully connected. Their laughter looks forced. Their smiles fade quickly. It feels like they're slowly becoming roommates who just happen to share a child and a past. Julia Trpkina, meanwhile, faces her own intense storyline. She has never been the type to stay silent, and her battle with Brandon's mother, Betty, proves she still has her fire. The tension with her mother-in-law has been building for years, and it finally exploded during the preparation for their second wedding ceremony. Brandon tried to keep peace as always, but even he reached a limit. Julia made it clear that she was tired of Betty's interference in deeply personal matters like her fertility appointments. She believes some things should remain between a husband and wife, not discussed like family gossip. Things became even more chaotic when Julia's parents arrived in America for the celebration. On the way home from the airport, Betty called Brandon, knowing Julia could hear. In that call, she made comments about not being on good terms with Julia, stirring drama right as Julia hoped to focus on her family reunion. The memory of their last big fight lingered, and viewers could see the tension written all over Julia's face. Still, amid all the conflict, there was a moment of light. Julia and Brandon announced their pregnancy with a stunning maternity shoot, holding each other with joy. For Julia, this meant everything. She had once believed she couldn't have children after a Russian doctor told her she had a uterine polyp. Between medical fear, pressure from Brandon, and constant judgment from his family, she lived with anxiety for years. Now, carrying her baby and renewing her vows on Miami's sunny beach. She feels like she finally got a moment of happiness that belongs to her. This second wedding meant more than just a ceremony. It was Julia reclaiming her voice. She remembered how Betty controlled every part of her first wedding, making decisions as if it were her own celebration. Not again. This time, Julia planned every detail herself. She wanted the beach, the freedom, the sunset, and the joy of seeing her parents smile, not a single moment interrupted by unwanted opinions. Brandon held her hand and promised to support her fully, proving that he has finally learned when to stand with his wife against the pressure around them. With her baby bump showing and their loyal dog Nala trotting alongside them, Julia finally had the wedding moment she always wanted, soft, personal, and genuine. No chaos, no controlling voices, just a family embracing love without noise. Fans who watched felt emotional, remembering the early days when Julia cried in frustration on Brandon's family farm. Seeing her smile with confidence now felt like watching someone finally step into the life they fought hard to build. Meanwhile, Stevie Nicole, another beloved figure from the franchise, decided to open her heart to fans through a candid Q&A session on Instagram. Married to Madi on June 15th, 2025, during the season 11 finale, Stevie has been adjusting to married life while still navigating personal and emotional struggles. During the session, she answered fan questions with warmth and honesty, showing sides of herself that viewers hadn't fully seen on television. She talked about her daily routine, about adjusting to Madi's habits, and how marriage is both beautiful and challenging. She mentioned moments when she feels strong and moments when anxiety creeps in, reminding fans that even reality stars live very real emotional battles behind the camera. She spoke about health routines, personal growth, and the importance of protecting her peace. Fans found comfort in her words, saying it felt like talking to a friend rather than a celebrity. She also expressed gratitude for her supporters, saying their love reminds her that vulnerability is a strength. With her calm voice and emotional honesty, she created a moment online that felt more heartfelt than any dramatic scene on the show. Stevie's answers continued to resonate with her followers, making them feel like they were confiding in someone who genuinely understood their struggles. When someone asked her what the hardest part of her weight loss journey was, she didn't glamorize the process or pretend it was easy. Instead, she spoke with raw honesty. She said that the hardest part was simply starting. She admitted she had spent a long time making excuses, always putting other people before herself and slowly forgetting how to show up for her own needs. She explained that weight loss was never just about diet or exercise. For her, it was about breaking free from old habits and learning to stop abandoning herself emotionally. She said that real change begins in the mind before the body catches up. It's just as much a mental thing as it is physical, she shared, reminding fans that the journey begins when you choose yourself, even when it's uncomfortable. That small admission hit many in the heart because it didn't sound like a celebrity answer. It sounded like someone who had lived through it. Fans were also curious about her content and online presence. They noticed she rarely goes live on Instagram anymore and wanted to know why. Stevie laughed and revealed that Instagram has her banned from going live for nearly 200 more days, and her account has been under review since May. While she found it frustrating, she said she still pops on TikTok live occasionally to stay connected. She explained that even if platforms limit her voice, she will always find ways to speak to the people who support her. When asked if art is her full-time job, Stevie gave an answer that once again showed her dedication. She said she still works a traditional 9-to-5 job, but every night after work and every weekend, she pours herself into her art. It's not just a hobby to her. It's a second full-time commitment. She described painting late into the night, headphones on, completely lost in her creative world. Fans admired her for that, for choosing passion even when she's tired, for building a life that feeds her soul as well as her responsibilities. Naturally, people wanted updates on her marriage to Madi. Stevie smiled when she talked about him. She said that being married feels like living every day with your best friend. She admitted that she is not always easy to love, that she has her moods and moments of insecurity, but Madi meets her with patience instead of frustration. They laugh together, share meals, argue, make up, and choose each other again and again. She said long distance had tested them deeply in the past, and now that they finally live together, even the smallest moments, like sitting on the couch or shopping for groceries, feel special. Viewers were also curious about her dad's opinion of Madi. Stevie said her father respects him fully. He sees Madi as someone who is dependable and steady, someone he knows he can rely on if needed. Hearing that comforted fans, especially those who had remembered tense moments from the show. To them, this felt like closure, proof that real life after filming had brought healing that cameras never captured. She also reflected on how she was portrayed on television. She said, "What you saw was me, but it wasn't all of me. You got the trailer, not the full version." She reminded fans that editing compresses deeper stories into short segments, and people sometimes judge based on a glance instead of the whole picture. When asked if she felt accurately represented, she said that parts were true, but many people misunderstood her. She didn't ask for pity or blame editing. She simply said, "It is what it is. No regrets, just growth." It was a line that stayed with viewers, a reminder that life is not about perfection, but becoming better through each chapter. By the end of the Q&A, it no longer felt like fans were watching a celebrity update. It felt like a conversation with someone real, someone flawed, passionate, honest, and still learning. Stevie's transparency reminded everyone that behind the bright lights of reality TV, there are real people trying to grow. Just like everyone else, that Stevie's Q&A wrapped up with a flood of love from fans, many of whom said they felt understood and inspired. They thanked her for showing that life after reality TV isn't always glamorous, but it can still be meaningful when you choose growth over perfection. Stevie smiled at those messages, reminding everyone once again that happiness isn't about having a life free of struggle. It's about learning to carry your struggles with dignity and courage. As the comments continued pouring in, fans began asking what was next for her. Would she focus more on art? Would she expand her brand? Was she planning for children with Madi? Stevie, always careful with her words, hinted that she and Madi have discussed the future deeply, and while nothing is rushed, life feels more stable now than it ever has. She said that for the first time in a long time, she feels safe. Safe to dream, safe to plan, and safe to imagine a future not defined by fear, but by choice. And just like that, fans felt a shift. Her story didn't feel like the usual 90-day fiancé chaos. It felt like a quiet victory. A reminder that while drama may dominate the headlines, there are still cast members building real lives beyond the noise. But as one love story finds peace, others in the 90-day universe continue to unravel. While Stevie and Madi move forward with calm energy, other couples spiral in the opposite direction, trapped in patterns of jealousy, silence, and emotional distance. The contrast between peaceful growth and chaotic love becomes more visible with every new season, making viewers wonder which couples are truly built to last and which ones are simply performing for the cameras while their connection slowly fades behind closed doors. In the midst of all of this, new rumors begin to swirl, new heartbreaks surface, and new alliances form. Every cast member seems to be standing at a crossroads, some choosing healing, some clinging to drama, and others pretending everything is fine while their world quietly cracks beneath them. And while Stevie ends her Q&A session with grace and gratitude, somewhere else in the franchise, another relationship is beginning to fracture, another secret is about to be exposed, and another surprising connection is waiting to explode into public view. The silence between this next couple doesn't happen overnight. At first, it's barely noticeable, just a delayed response here and a distant expression there. They still appear together on camera, still smile at events, still share inside jokes during live streams. But for those who know how to read body language, something has shifted. They are present, but no longer connected. They speak, but no longer listen. It's the kind of slow emotional drift that doesn't make headlines right away, but leaves an ache that fans can sense through the screen. They used to lean into each other naturally during interviews. Now, they sit with a small space between them. Their hands no longer reach out in moments of uncertainty. Their laughter doesn't carry the warmth it once did. It's not loud, not explosive, not dramatic in the usual 90-day fiancé way. This kind of heartbreak is quieter, more dangerous, because it doesn't come with yelling. It comes with tired eyes and forced smiles, with two people still trying, but no longer sure why. Fans begin to notice the change in tone during simple exchanges. A question is asked and answered, but the energy feels rehearsed, like lines read rather than words felt. Viewers scroll back through older videos and compare them to recent clips. They watch the way one of them looks away whenever certain topics are mentioned. They watch the way the other keeps adjusting their sleeves, a nervous habit that only appears when something isn't quite right internally. These tiny movements become clues, and slowly, the fandom starts piecing together a feeling that something deeper is happening off camera. And then it happens. One post, one caption, just a few words, almost poetic, paired with a black and white photo. It's not an announcement, not a breakup, just a sentence about outgrowing spaces that no longer feel like home. It doesn't mention names. It doesn't accuse. But it doesn't need to. The message is soft but heavy. It speaks to a tired type of love, one that has been stretched too thin trying to survive expectation, pressure, and the constant eyes of millions watching. The internet reacts in seconds. Comments flood in, fans desperate to know if this is a hint, a warning, or simply an emotional moment shared without intention. Some write paragraphs begging the couple to stay strong. Others say sometimes letting go is also love. Speculation begins to swirl faster than facts. And like every emotional thread in this franchise, it becomes something bigger than the original moment. Behind the scenes, production teams remain quiet. Castmates, always careful with their words under contract, avoid directly addressing it, but occasionally drop subtle reactions through likes, cryptic emoji responses, or brief moments during live Q&As where they hesitate just long enough to make viewers read between the lines. Every breath becomes a clue. Every deleted comment becomes evidence. Every pause becomes a story. And just like flames catching on dry paper, whispers turn into full theories. People begin stitching clips together, slowing down interviews, and analyzing facial expressions. They compare timestamps, matching emotional shifts with moments that aired earlier in the season. Fans notice how one of them started posting late-night selfies alone. They notice how the others started writing long captions about feeling misunderstood. These are not the loud explosions that reality TV often thrives on. These are the cracks that form slowly, silently, until the foundation gives way. What makes this more intense than any dramatic fight is that neither of them has officially said anything. There are no shouting matches, no public unfollowing, no messy lives dragging each other's names. Instead, it feels like watching a candle slowly burn out while pretending it still has flame. That kind of breakup hurts deeper, because it doesn't come from rage, it comes from exhaustion. From two people too tired to fight, but too bonded to walk away without trying one more time. Meanwhile, fans feel their own emotions rising. Some feel protective, some feel frustrated, some feel triggered by their own past heartbreaks reflected back through a couple they once believed in. They type out long paragraphs about healing, about communication, about choosing love even when it's hard. The comment sections turn into confession spaces where people share their own silent breakups, the ones that happened in quiet kitchens at 2 a.m. without doors slamming. Suddenly, this isn't just about a TV couple anymore. It becomes about everyone watching who has ever felt love slowly slip through their fingers while the world still believed everything was perfect. Some viewers desperately hold on to hope. They believe that maybe, just maybe, the couple will take a break, reset, and come back stronger. After all, they've seen others in the 90-day universe rebuild themselves after chaos. They point to stories like Julia and Brandon, who nearly fell apart before transforming their love into something healthier. They believe healing is possible if both hearts are willing. Others, though since the end, they recognize the signs of people emotionally packing their bags, even while still living together. And somewhere, in places unseen by cameras, the couple sits in the same room, but feels an ocean between them. Maybe they talk less these days. Maybe they scroll their phones longer at night, silently hoping the other will speak first. Maybe they still say, "I love you," but softer now, like a memory instead of a promise. They are still here, still trying, but every moment feels heavier than the last. What happens next is unknown. The franchise has shown time and time again that love can fall apart publicly, but healing or a goodbye often happens in the quiet moments between filming. Fans wait. They refresh notifications. They analyze each new post. They hold their breath because they know one day soon it won't just be a caption or a look or a melody of silence. One day the truth will come. And when it does, the world watching will feel it like a pulse through the fandom, echoing the same question across every screen. Was it love that ended? Or just the version of love the cameras captured?